Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be running you through the 9-part LinkedIn content checklist that I'm using that I teach my clients to help them get leads through content. Because if you're not currently getting leads through your content at the moment, then I think this video can be really useful for you. And I'm going to go through each of these stages bit by bit. So, first things first, let's go through this first step. So, one of the first areas I like to focus on when creating content is problem unaware content. Now, when we go to create problem unaware content, what we want to do is focus on using industry case studies. Now, why do we want to do this? Well, for reference, when I'm talking about problem unaware content, we're talking about people that know they have some form of problem, right? So maybe the problem is that they're not getting leads, right? Perhaps that's somewhat of the problem. However, what they don't know and that they're unaware of is that, say, LinkedIn can help them do it, right? And bearing in mind, my handwriting's awful, but bear with it, right? So that is what I mean by someone is problem unaware. And the thing is that if you try to pitch to this person, they wouldn't be responsive with it or as responsive because they don't know, or at least if I would try and pitch, right? If I were trying to pitch them on actually LinkedIn and my results I'm getting, that might not resonate with this person because they don't yet know that LinkedIn is, like say something they can work on. Because if they realize that, oh, LinkedIn is something is something they get results from, then that's when they're problem aware. They're like, the problem is I'm not using LinkedIn, right? Because let's be honest, everyone has pains or desires of some like some sort, but that's really the idea. So why do we use industry case studies? Well, the reason why we use industry case studies is that it helps your ideal clients to identify and see it working, right? Seeing that this is possible, right? So one of the content examples I did was of Alex Hormozy, and that was of when I think he had invested like sort of like $6 million into content, and I think he had made like 12 or $13 million off of it, right? And obviously, yeah, sure, this isn't specific necessarily to LinkedIn. However, it's around content, and I sort of preach the idea of being able to get leads and be able to like sign clients through content. So this is almost, like this type of content was almost an industry case study because sure, it's not my own like result, but it's a result that supports the use of say platforms like LinkedIn. So that's really good for being able to do problem unaware. Now, another one you can do as well is calling out misconceptions. Now, why is this really good? So, being able to call out misconceptions, bearing in mind your audience will have certain misconceptions or false beliefs that they have at the moment in relation to, the desire or, the problem that they have, right? And being able to call these out are really, really quite, like really quite useful, right? So, for example, for me, this could be the idea that you should be using, say, like multiple lead gen sources, right? When actually, in reality, you want to ideally focus on one, put all your energy into it, and then when it's working and getting you good results, then maybe that's when you can expand out. But other than that, I think that okay, we focus on one area, such as LinkedIn, that's going to help you the most. So by me being able to call that out, some people that have say been like over here struggling to say get leads and such, if they then realize, oh, well, they're not getting leads, but they're doing multiple lead gen sources, then maybe that's like, that's the problem. I'm doing too much, right? So this can make people more problem aware. A third thing as well, or really the last thing with this, is I'm going to probably move that over there. Is giving your take on industry trends. Now, this is obviously different, say, from the case studies, because this isn't so much results, but this is just more trends that are going on, right? So, for example, for LinkedIn, trends that are going on at the moment is when people are saying that you should be commenting. That's a comment, by the way, that you should be, say, commenting for reach. You should be commenting to, build your brand and attract people and such. When this is just false, because commenting really is a bit of a waste of the time, especially if you're trying to generate leads. And the reach that commenting gives is very, very minimal. If you were to ever do commenting, I'd probably recommend targeted commenting, but even that is pretty much pointless. So, being able to give your own take on industry trends can help people, who either align with industry trends that are going on at the moment. Obviously, industry trends being in your industry. So I might talk about LinkedIn trends at the moment. This helps people understand your view and helps them identify if the trend they're currently using or following or that they heard of is something they align with. So then what we want to move on to, right? We've done the three steps for the problem unaware. Now we want to move on to problem aware content. Now, for reference, problem aware content is for people that are aware of, say, the problem that they're facing, but they're unaware of the solution, right? So in this case, for example, like the example we mentioned up there, sure, let's say, they're like they want to get leads and such. Okay, well, they're aware that LinkedIn can now get them those leads. But the issue is they're unaware of, say, the solution in terms of how they can use LinkedIn to get leads or how they can use, say, LinkedIn content to get leads, right? And so because, like they're aware of the problem, but they're unaware of the solution, or at least how to do it, which is the solution essentially, this is obviously going to cause some problems. So we want to figure out ways where we can really, like, basically make these people almost a bit solution aware. So let's look at this first one here. So the first one here is calling out pains and fears your ideal clients have. Now, this is usually really good to do at the beginning of this type of content, because what this is going to do is that naturally, like, if you can hook people in with emotions through your content, that is going to work far better than any form of copywriting or sales tactic there is, right? Forget the hook templates. If you hook them in with relevant emotions and pains and fears that they are facing, so this being calling out your ideal client in the hook and a problem they're facing, it's naturally going to hook in the right people. So if you can do that for this first bit, that's really going to help. The next thing as well is then to suggest solutions they can use to solve the problem. So in this case, right, let's say this is a post format. We're going to start off with emotions, the hook and maybe the first few lines, trying to call out the ideal client and the current pain or fear they're facing. Then we want to obviously resonate with that, and we want to try and suggest solutions. Because what we want to try and do here, we want to try and give to our audience. A lot of times, coaches might sort of feel like, okay, well, I kind of want to keep things to myself. I don't want to give too much away. It's kind of a false belief, because at the end of the day, you want to stand out. You need to give more to your audience for them to want to give back to you. So, in terms of, say, solutions, this can obviously be a few things. Now, what I usually like to do, because we're focusing on people that are problem aware and they're not solution aware, right? So, these type of people, if you just pitched your service, they wouldn't resonate with it as much because they don't know the solution yet. They're still trying to figure out the solution and what's working. So, what we want to do is then give them solutions, or maybe say things like actionable steps that are going to help them get one step closer, right? Because let's say, for example, I created content, say, on, helping, say, coaches be able to get more leads from their content. That might help someone go from problem aware, so that where LinkedIn can help them, and help them go to more solution aware. They're like, okay, this does work, right? This is the solution. I just don't know how to do it. So essentially, what we're doing here is that we have the why here in terms of the emotions, why you should do this, why it's relevant to you, and then we have the what, which is here in terms of what you should do, and like what it looks like, and then what you're going to eventually end up selling, but you won't do in this post, will be the why, or not the why, the how. That's the one. You'll then sell the how, which is essentially your money, or because I'm in the UK, I should probably do a pound sign. But that's essentially how that would go. But really, all you're trying to do is call out the why and the what when you're doing this content. And then lastly, what you can do as well is include your own experiences or results with the problem. Now, this is just an extra thing, but if you have experiences or things that can relate to it and you can speak on that, then it's obviously going to help so much more. So lastly, once we've done that, then we want to create solution aware content. Now, this is for the people, which are, both problem aware and solution aware, right? So in my case, right, they're aware that of their problem of leads, they're aware that LinkedIn is going to help them get there, and they know that, say, LinkedIn content and, say, LinkedIn outreach and such, is going to, help them get there, right? They're aware of the problem, they're aware of the solution. However, the problem is they don't know how to do it, right? So, they know the why, they know the what, they know why LinkedIn is going to help them, they know what it's going to be able to do for them, but they don't know how to do it. So here's what I usually had to focus on. So, arguably, the best thing you can be doing here is sharing any form of social proof. But for this, case studies, of, say, wins from your ideal client, or at least from the clients that you work with, is going to be best. Because if you can literally show, hey, like you are currently here, or my client was here and I helped them get from here to here, in, I don't know, X amount of days, or with whatever it was, and I can help you do the same. It's a win-win. It's a no-brainer to the people that are solution aware. Now, obviously, if I showed this to, say, someone who was, say, problem unaware, yeah, sure, that might still attract them, right? Because technically that is maybe some form of industry case study. However, a lot of the time, if they don't know that's going to be the solution, or at least maybe to problem aware people, this might not resonate with them, which is why we do it in this order. So case studies are really good. What are some other ways? So some other ways is other forms of testimonials, or even just sharing your own results. Because that said, right, especially for the solution aware audience, they know what they need to do. They just don't know how to do it. So if you can come across with social proof, whether that be a video testimonial, a written testimonial, from one of your ideal clients, or perhaps even a case study, which is obviously preferred, then if you can show that proof, in which usually I'd show that on my profile, say in my featured section, then when those ideal clients come across your content, or in this case, say maybe if they come across your profile, go to your featured and see those results, then if they are in that solution aware mode, they're going to be able to see the results, going to be more likely to reach out. So overall, this is the part sort of content checklist I would follow typically, like as a coach, to get leads from LinkedIn. And really, as a overview, what you want to be doing is creating problem unaware content, problem aware, and solution aware content, because I find that your ideal clients are going to be almost organized into these three areas. And so if you can target all of these people in your content, then I think this is going to really, really help you do that just as well. So I really appreciate you watching this video. If you are interested in learning sort of if or how I could help you do the same, then make sure to click the button, or the like in the description below, to learn more about how, if or how I could help you. If you're not just ready yet, I do actually have a school community for coaches that are looking to help sign clients with LinkedIn, which is completely free to join, which you'll also find in the description below. But appreciate you watching this, and I'll catch you soon.